edition, DPM Turnquest says no to taxes. PHA signs $2 million in contracts. And even though it's Tuesday, let's take a trip to Grand Bahama. I'm LaDawn Davis. Welcome to the morning edition. Our Independence clue-in continue this week, so stay tuned and keep watching for those clues each day. Call out Charles Fisher on Friday at 502-3880 with the 5 clues and win a stay at Comfort Suites. Bahari is our Independence We're sponsor today. Thank you so much, Bahari. Let's go over to our weatherman, Basil Dean, who is standing by with the Bank of the Bahamas weather report.
This weather report is sponsored by Bank of the Bahamas, the Bank of Solutions.
In our first look at weather, that surface trough across the northwest Bahamas continues to trek towards the west, and that means you'll get a little break later on today, but that will not last long. We expect the rains to return. When that will happen, stay tuned. All the details coming up later in the newscast. But outside of our studios, it is mostly cloudy, temperature 81 degrees, relative humidity 83%. The winds out of the south at 9 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,016.3 millibars. That's 30.02 inches. And it is rising. Your temperatures around the islands this morning: Marsh Harbor at 81, 82 in Green, Torquay, Freeport 82 degrees, in the Berry Islands 82, also Allenstown, Bimini at 82 degrees, 82 in Harper Island, Rock Sound, Eleuthera 81, 81 in Otterstown, Cat Island, Staniel Key, Kemp Space, St. Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Island. There's more 81s in San Salvador and Rum Key as we take you into Ragged Island, Clarence Sound, Long Island, and Crooked Island. 81s there as well. 82 degrees in Betsy Bay, Maguana, Acklands, 82, 81 in Matthewtown, Inagua, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 82 degrees. Your boating forecast for today in the northwest and central islands: southeast to south winds. Those speeds going to be around 12 to 18 knots with the wave height 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. Low tide 7:13 this morning, high tide at 1:31 in the afternoon. For the southeast Bahamas, caution flags are up. Winds out of the southeast 15 to 20 knots, and the wave height 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. That's going to do it for your first look at weather in the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. And now let's turn things over to our Kelsey Johnson and the traffic team, who are standing by with the Bahamas First traffic report.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Good morning, LaDawn. Good morning, Bahamas. We're here on historic Clifford Park, and in a few hours, this particular park will be buzzing with activities. And just below the fort is West Bay Street. I can tell you that traffic is flowing smoothly down there on West Bay Street. Not too much to worry about if you're wondering if you're going to come out early here today. But there are going to be some road closures from 4 o'clock, and that particular road, West Bay Street, is one of the road closures. The other road closures are West Bay Street between Nassau Street and St. Albans Drive, Marcus Bethel Way between West Bay Street and Infant View Road, Dean's Lane accident onto Marcus Bethel Way, Gibbs Lane accident onto Marcus Bethel Way. Now, there are some no parking around this area for tonight. That includes West Bay Street between Nassau Street and St. Albans Drive, Marcus Bethel Way between West Bay Street and Infant View Road, Infant View Road between Nassau Street and Chippingham Road, Chippingham Road between West Bay Street and Boyd Road. So you still have time to utilize these roads, but around about 4 o'clock, that's when everything is going to be locked down right here for the 46th annual Independence celebration. Back to you in the studio, LaDawn. Before I go, LaDawn, I want to make sure that everybody knows that our shirts came from Bahari, and you still have time to go out and purchase your shirts. So back to you, LaDawn, who's wearing another one like this.
Thanks a lot, Kelsey. Now onto our top story this morning. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, says the government has no intention to implement an income or corporate tax, which could possibly have a greater impact on the middle class in this country. Turnquest says all around the world, countries are moving towards a flat tax, that value-added tax rather, that stands at some 12% here in the country.
For us, we already have a flat tax. which is the value-added tax. It's flat. It's across the board. And while there is some degree of regressiveness built into that system, by and large, it is probably the fairest system that you can find globally. When we talk about income tax or personal income tax, we must bear in mind that if we decide that we're going to a progressive tax, at the bottom, which unfortunately makes up a significant portion of our population, are going to be exempt from paying tax, or they're going to pay a very low tax.
The Public Hospitals Authority signed 2 major contracts for the replacement and upgrade of the chilled water system in the critical care block of the Princess Margaret Hospital and the completion of Phase 2 of roof repairs at the facility yesterday. Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Dwayne Sands, was on hand for the signing that he says marks a significant day for the hospital and the Bahamian people.
Beginning in 2017, my ministry, along with the Board of Directors of the Public Hospitals Authority, committed to charting a sustainable course for the future development and improvement of services across the institutions of the PHA. And where appropriate, we would commit to the investments necessary to arrest and to ameliorate the effects of years of wear and tear, uneven maintenance, and in some instances, periods of neglect on the infrastructure, equipment, and physical plants of our public hospitals. Also, where appropriate, we committed to looking for opportunities to create or to enhance public-private partnerships to improve our hospitals' capacities and equipment.
The recent power outages has had no major effect on services provided at various health facilities in the country, said Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Dwayne Sands. While other businesses in this country have experienced some impact from the frequent disruption to services, the health minister said Sandilands Rehabilitation Center was the only facility that was compromised, but not in a negative way. He reassures the public that the country's healthcare system is stable.
In terms of all of the PHA institutions, and that would be Princess Margaret, Rand Memorial Hospital, Sandilands, and then all of the clinics in Grand Bahama, supplies management, EMS. We have not had any significant interruption from any challenges from power. A call was made asking whether or not we had any interruption, and so I would have spoken with the hospital administrator at Sandilands. Certainly it was a very brief period of time. They had a challenge with one of the generators, I believe, but within a very short time frame, things were restored, and it did not have any impact on patient care.
And he is almost 100 years old. When we return, let's take a trip down to Grand Bahama to check it all out. So stay close.
I watch the morning edition because I want to know what's going on in my country.
Welcome back to the morning edition. Imagine living to see 100 years old. Well, for our Alexander Clark Jr. is almost there. Jamila Mizik of the Northern Service stopped by to visit the family and filed this report.
I'm Clark Jr. I am nearly 100 years old.
Alexander Clark Jr. was born in 1919. After graduating from high school, he attended Florida A&M University in 1940 before joining the U.S. Army in 1941. During World War II, he served as a corporal in the Army's Medical Corps. The retired educator is a native of Coconut Grove. His daughter Alexis says singing bass is his greatest gift.
Daddy is a very caring and supportive man. He's a lifelong educator, so he loves children. He's always told me that his favorite teaching was with middle school kids because they were the ones where you can still affect a change. He said by the time young people get to high school, some of them you might be able to redirect some kind of crazy behavior, but it's in middle school that you can really help them. He has always been caring in his family. He's the son that everybody depended on. And in fact, his nickname, a lot of times they don't call him Alexander, they call him Bruh. And that's everybody in the community who grew up around him. They called him Bruh.
His niece, Crystal Thompson, says although she did not grow up with her uncle, she is glad to have met him.
We grasped the opportunity to take time to show how much we appreciate him and how much we love him, and really was excited to see him. I didn't grow up with my granduncle, and because of the miles and the distance between us. But 15 years ago when they came to Freeport, we met and we had a wonderful time together for like a week, I think. They spent a week. I always knew of him because my father always told me about my uncle and my granduncle and my grandaunt who are his uncle.
The Centenarian has this advice for younger persons.
If they take care of themselves and love each other and be faithful and honor, and also remember the Father Almighty, and I think they would be okay. And they'll reach that ripe age.
Clark will celebrate his 100th birthday on August 29th. Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
What an inspiring story there, Jamila. Thanks a lot. As part of the Independence Weekend events over in Cat Island, a community library was named on Friday morning in honor of former educator and community giant Aris Monker. Crystal Darling was there.
A ceremony was held for the renaming of the Cat Island Library and Resource Center to the Aris Monker Resource Center and Library on Friday in Cat Island. Minister of Education, the Honorable Jeffrey Lloyd, had this to say.
It is the commitment of governments, not just this government, to ensure that persons who have made significant contribution to, in our case, education culture, are recognized and their legacy to be enshrined for the benefit of succeeding generations. Mr. Monker is beyond question one of our cultural and educational icons. He has served with distinction as a teacher, as a district superintendent, as an author, as a consummate researcher in our country over these past 70 years. He is a proud Bahamian, and he never ever hesitated or resisted in promoting Bahamian.
Member of Parliament for Cat Island and opposition leader Brave Davis also attended the ceremony and spoke about the importance of honoring Monker for his contributions in education and development.
When young children and generations after this generation passes by this building and they say, well, who was Aris Monker? We're able to speak to him, speak about the traits, his dedication to family, his dedication to Cat Island, his dedication to education, his dedication to culture, and his overall pursuit of ensuring things Bahamian continues to identify us and shape us.
Honoree Aris Monker is grateful for all the support he's received from the Cat Island community throughout the years, and he thanked those who stuck by his side.
This is indeed a great honor that is being bestowed on me and by extension, my family. We thank you for this recognition. The center represents a lot of work. We therefore do not take this honor lightly. We realize that much work is yet to be done.
Both island and government officials say that they believe the library will help to further education in the Cat Island community. Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.
There's no place like Abaco, at least. That's what the residents in the north are saying after they brought all the energy to day 2 of their independence celebrations. Anthony Smith was there.
A Bahamian artist once said, Abaco people sure know how to move. And the residents of North Abaco just may be proving the theory correct as they dance their way into day 2 of the island's independence festivities. It's something this resident says he's been waiting for all year.
I look forward for this once a year. Your person's family is coming together, traveling home to just be here to participate in this event. Some persons you don't see in years, months, we come together as one.
Just like this Abaco native who traveled over international waters just to be home for the event, and more importantly, the food.
It's always good to come back and see my friends, family, and enjoy the time. Eat good. The food is amazing, so no better place to spend it than home. I'm eating everything, conch fritters, conch salad. I don't get this stuff like that, so I'm gonna take advantage.
While those who didn't chow down at the stalls chowed down at the competition table, others felt content to sit back and relax, that is, until the sun went down and electricity filled the air. Performances by proclaimed rake and scrape General Stelit filled the air, alongside Julian Believe, who says he always considers performing in Abaco to be a special occasion.
Abaco always have a special place in my heart because when I first started off as an artist, this is one of the first places that I came to, and the love was strong. You know, they were very welcoming. You know, even though they didn't know me, it was like, okay, it's a Bahamian. You ain't from here, but you're from here.
North Abaco administrator and North Abaco native Therese Boodle-Lang says these events are all about showcasing what the town has to offer.
It's all about bringing the community together to celebrate North Abaco, to celebrate what it means to be a Bahamian. And so we want to push this concept that we're in the North. We want you to appreciate you're part of an ecosystem of people who are proud, people who are strong, people who are intelligent people. And so we do these events to remind them in the North we have a lot to offer. We will not go unnoticed.
The Independence festivities in North Abaco will continue all the way up till the flag is raised on Independence Day. But until that time comes, residents say they will continue to celebrate in every day in true Abaco style. Antoinette Smith, ZNS Network News.
Sure, I'm looking quite outstanding in my Bahari attire, but I see that you're promoting a number of Bahamian businesses this morning in your attire. Tell me about it.
I know your grandmother or mother always told you if your house catch a fire, you have on all your clothes, you don't have to worry. So this is my jacket to wear with the dignitaries when I go on the fort tonight. Then I'll take this off, and then I'll go down to sit down with the regular folks, and then I'm going to Junkanoo in the morning. So I'm fully dressed. I'm not going back home today. I won't go back home until tomorrow. So I'm fully dressed from sock to shoes and everything. So I'm ready for tonight, and I hope all the Bahamians come out tonight in their colors as well.
Well, you heard it here first. Especially what's coming up in sports.
Well, coming up in sports, the FIBA America's basketball tournament. The under-17 girls last night, they had a rough time, but it's all about me this morning. Fashion at its best.
That and more ahead in sports.
Good morning once again. Our under-17 girls losing a big one last night at the Central Basket Tournament to the host team, Puerto Rico. The final score was 83-43. Michelle Butler, the only Bahamian in double figure with 12. Head coach Pharrell Davis joining us this morning on what went wrong.
I think the girls actually had a little nervous before the game, but throughout the whole game, I just try to fight those nerves from the girls. As a coach, it's very difficult to do that. In progress, I thought things would get, a little better. But we did some things well. Just want to practice and make some adjustment for Guatemala today.
That game today against Guatemala, very pivotal. That decides the last team to get into the semifinals. How do you approach this?
We have bigs, so I'm going to use my bigs today game. Guatemala is a very short team. I think is our quickness against them. They came here with 9 girls. I'm prepared to go to my bench a lot tonight to actually wear them down.
After a much debated topic on the local talk shows and even in one of the morning dailies on Monday, the Bahamas Aquatic Federation President Algernon Cargill responded to claims that the Bahamas water polo team had to return home early from the CC Can Championships in Barbados and could not play in the gold medal game due to the lack of funding and had to return home early. Like I said, Cargill, who was on his way to Korea for the FINA Long Course World Swimming Championship, had this response.
That comment is false and malicious for many reasons. The Water Polo Division of Bahamas Aquatics made their own travel plans Initially, the Bahamas Aquatics Federation had made a decision not to compete in water polo CC Can. But because the parents wanted their athletes to participate, they set about raising funds for water polo and fell short. And although we had earmarked our funding for the Junior Pan American Games, we nonetheless contributed towards CC Can. But at no time did the Water Polo Division of Bahamas Aquatics discuss with us, or I can say the government, that they will go into water polo and will not be able to compete for the gold medal game because they could not afford to stay another day. I say that because just so we contributed $4,000, if it cost another $1,000 or so to stay for the gold medal game, we would have done that. But to blame the government or to blame Bahamas Aquatics, I think it false and malicious and misrepresents what actually happened.
The Bahamas Football Association naming 3 teams. The first, the under-15 boys, headed to the CONCACAF qualifiers August 4 through 19. Rowan Davis, Kennard Swain, Jordan Wilson, Kevin Thomas, Derek Ferguson, Kai Pierre, Ravado Underwood, William Gardner, Aiden Lowe, Joshua Hamilton, Anwar Tucker, Nathan Nemore, Sean Lyons, Kamani Jaden Hanna, Peyton Johnson, and Matthew Beneby. Sherwin Arthur is the head coach. He will be assisted by Ricardo Fremantle. The women will kick at the Rural Beach Soccer qualifiers in El Salvador, and their dates August 3 through 4. Christabel, Shara Edgecombe, Tara Brister, Kieran Word, Alexis Jewel Woodside, Shava Roberts, Stephanie Caprice, Christian Archer, Janae Francis, and Jody Clark. Head coach is Luis Escobar, assisted by William DaCosta. The therapist is Eugenia Patton. The team manager is Jason McDowell. The men also headed to El Salvador the same dates for the World Beach qualifiers. Their team, Michael Butler, Valen Bodie, Gavin Christie, Leslie Sinfleur, Kyle Williams, Dwayne Forbes, James Thompson, Timmy Munnings, Gary Joseph, and Jean Francois. Head coach is Luis Escobar as well. Wilson DaCosta is the assistant, Eugenia Patton, and Jason McDowell, once again, therapist and team manager.
As a team, we're really collective and mind-driven on this goal that we have is to qualify for the World Beach Games, which is held in Qatar. So we're all driven on that. You know, coach tells us all the time, you know, one game at a time, one goal at a time, one moment at a time, and that's what we try to follow. Even as a player, I try to follow that every time I step on the pitch, whether it may be practice or for a game.
That is Valen Bodie. That's going to put a wrap on Sports Tuesday. Thanks for watching.
In our final look at weather, we get you started with our satellite discussion. We have that north-south troughing across the western Bahamas, and that's sliding towards the west, and that means we'll have a little drier conditions here in the capital later on today. But this trough will return sometime late tomorrow afternoon, so the showers will return. So things clearing up a bit today. We'll get some more showers again tomorrow afternoon as we go into our forecast. Some morning showers. We had 1 or 2 of those early this morning, but things will improve as we head into the early afternoon hours, turning partly sunny and warmer. High temperature getting up to 88 degrees. And tonight, we're looking at partly cloudy conditions again. 1 or 2 spotty showers likely with the low temperature getting down to 78 degrees. And the extended weather forecast on Wednesday, the first part of the day looks great, but by afternoon around 4 or 5 o'clock, those showers will start cranking up again, and that will head into the nighttime hours. Thursday, more beautiful weather, lots of sunshine developing, heading into the weekend and the early part of next week, and we will get back into those 90s once again on Saturday. Nighttime temperatures, they will hover in the upper 70s, so it's going to be a little bit of muggy on the nighttime. LaDawn?
Thanks a lot, Basil, and that's a wrap for us today. But make sure to join us when we continue our Independence Clue In. Tune in and look for the clues in each Morning Edition newscast up to July 26 and be the winner of a weekend stay at Comfort Suites on fabulous Paradise Island. Once again, we would like to thank Gardenia Celebrations for decorating our set with the Independence balloons. This morning, we would like to say goodbye to our colleague Vaughn Albry, who spent some 39 years here at the Broadcasting Corporation. Vaughn retires today, and we will certainly miss you here, Vaughn. I'm LaDawn Davis. Have a great day, everyone.